of Korea.
This is Voice of Korea.
This is Voice of Korea.
This is Voice of Korea.
Now we begin the English language transmission from Pyongyang, the capital of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
Winner is in the mixed towers. Song of General Kim Il-sung. Office Meal, Paris, Son of General Kim Jong-il.
You are listening to Voice of Korea News Now. Respected Kim Jong-un sent messages to Bashar al-Assad, president of the Syrian Arab Republic, and Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, president of the Republic of Uganda, in reply to the messages sent to him on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of the demise of the great leader President Kim Il-sung. In the reply messages, he expressed deep thanks to them for their warm messages carrying reverence for the President on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of his demise, and wished them greater successes in their responsible work.
Meetings were held at the South Hall and the Charlottesville Center in London, Britain on July the 26th on the occasion of the 61st anniversary of the Korean people's victory in the Great Fatherland Liberation War. Present at the meetings were many people, including personages of different political parties and organizations of Britain, and the cast of the Kim Il-sung Kim Jong-il Foundation. Invited there were some members of the DPRK embassy in Britain. A letter to respected Kim Jong-un was adopted at the meeting held at the Charlottesville Center. On the same occasion, meetings, seminars, weekly further exhibitions, lectures, and roundtable forums recently took place in India, Nepal, Poland, Germany, and Guinea.
Foreign newspapers feature the 61st anniversary of the Korean people's victory in the Great Fatherland Liberation War on July 25th and 26th. The Democratic Congolese newspaper L'Avenir ran an article titled Generalissimo Kim Il-sung, illustrated with his photograph. The Indian newspaper New Delhi Times in an article said, "It is entirely a brilliant victory of the outstanding strategies and tactics and original war methods of President Kim Il-sung that the Democratic People's Republic of Korea wrought a miracle in the confrontation with who would be strongest US imperialists." The Indonesian newspaper Suara Karya carried an article on the U.S. imperialist defeat in the confrontation with the DPRK since the past Korean War.
The Britain-Korea Friendship Association and the Peruvian group for the study of Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism recently released statements praising the exploits of the great generalissimo Kim Il-sung for the Korean people's victory in the Great Fatherland Liberation War on the occasion of the 61st anniversary of the victory in the war.
South Koreans from all walks of life praised the great victory of the July 27th of the DPRK that humbled the U.S. imperialist aggressors. Pressman Kim Jong-min, professor of history Lee Chung-suk, and other South Koreans of different sections praised that the victory of the North in the past Korean War is a fruition of the great leadership of President Kim Il-sung, anti-Japanese legendary hero, gifted military strategist, and ever-victorious and brilliant commander. The prominent strategy and courage of the great General Kim Il-sung, iron-willed brilliant commander who won the great victory of July, were brilliantly carried forward by the sanguine politics of General Kim Jong-il, a gifted, illustrious commander, and thus the North, not big in both territory and population, won victory after victory in the confrontation with the United States. They eulogized. South Korean media, including Gyeongyang Daily News, Tongil News, magazine Mao, and internet newspaper Chasu-Minbo, reported that respect to the Marshal Kim Jong-un continues high-intensity inspection of the front to visit Ireland defense detachments on the forefront of the southwestern front and Korean People's Army units in the eastern sector of the front.
A meeting of convened the chief sent by respected Kim Jong-un was held at the Kosan Fruit Farm on July the 31st. Present at meeting were Kim Ji-nam, Secretary of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea, officials concerned, the employees of the fruit farm, and members of the Construction Shop Brigade 618. Kim Ji-nam made a gift conveying address. He said, all the families of over 2,000 households have been provided with kind gifts sent by respected Kim Jong-un amid the joy of removal into new houses. It is a great event that can be seen only in the Korean socialist system, the society of the working people who are blessed with leaders and janitors, generation after generation. Speeches were made and a letter to respected Kim Jong-un was adopted at the meeting.
The Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea Wednesday sent a congratulatory message to Megawati Soekarno-Putri, General Chairwoman of the Central Directive Council of the Indonesian Democratic Party of Struggle. The message said the victory of the Indonesian Democratic Party of Struggle in the recent presidential election is an expression of the Indonesian people's high support and deep trust in the party. It wished her greater success in her responsible work for the strengthening and development of the party.
The marches of leading party officials from across the country to the revolutionary battle sites in the Mount Baekdu area climbed up Mount Baekdu, the secret mountain of revolution, on July the 31st. After they looked around the Sono Sanam Konsan secret camps associated with the immortal revolutionary exploits of the great leader Kim Il-sung and the anti-Japanese heroine Kim Jong-suk. That day, they held the recital of the full-length epic Mount Baekdu and choral competition of revolutionary songs. During the march, they conducted various political activities among the inhabitants in Samjiang County, Gyeongbuk Province.
The wire net fence factory built at the Kosan Fruit Farm was commissioned on July the 31st. The new factory will produce quality wire net fences to be used not only in orchards but also in parks and sports establishments and for various other uses. Present at the commissioning ceremony were Kim Ji-nam, Secretary of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea, officials concerned, members of the Construction Shop Brigade 618, and employees of the factory and the fruit farm. The factory was declared open and speeches were made. A resolution was adopted at the ceremony.
Leaders were laid before the bronze statue of Kang Ban-suk, an indomitable revolutionary fighter and outstanding leader of the women's movement of Korea, at the Kilgore Revolutionary Site and a tomb in Manjungdae on Thursday on the occasion of the 82nd anniversary of her demise. He in front of the statue and the tomb were letters sent by respected Kim Jong-un, first Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea, first Chairman of the National Defense Commission of the DPRK, and Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army. Present at the wrestling ceremonies were senior officials of the party, state and armed forces organs, vice premiers, chairperson of a friendly party, officials of the party and government institutions, working people's organizations and ministries, service persons of the Korean People's Army, and officials of different institutions and working people in Pyongyang. The participants observed with a moment of silence, looking back on a brilliant revolutionary life.
Swimming competition of officials of commissions, ministries, and national institutions of the DPRK was held at the swimming pool of the Sangwang Health Complex in Pyongyang between July the 28th and 31st. The competition was participated in by hundreds of swimmers selected from those organs. The competition was divided into 4 groups and held in individual and team events. Ranking was decided by measuring time. After the competition, diplomas and medals were awarded to distinguished teams.
The spokesman for the Korean National Peace Committee issued a press statement on Thursday. The press statement said, "The special proposal of the National Defense Commission and the statements of the governments of the DPRK declared our principled stand and sincere measures to bridge over the present acute and complicated situation, and for the present strongly demanded the United States and the South Korean authorities cancel the Ultra Freedom Guardian joint military exercise to be conducted from mid-August." But the South Korean military gangsters, despite our warning and public opinion at home and abroad, stated that the Ultra Freedom Guardian would be conducted as planned and already propagate the powder-reaching war exercise, saying it would involve large-scale U.S. forces and South Korean forces, and latest hardware as last year, and more than 480,000 civilians of government organs and important establishments. They openly announced that the tailored deterrence strategy, a plan for a preemptive nuclear attack on us, will be officially applied to the exercise. Due to such a frantic racket of the United States and the South Korean military hooligans, the inter-Korean relations are put in serious catastrophic danger again, and the touch-and-go situation is being created on the Korean peninsula, where a nuclear war may break out at any moment. The United States and the South Korean puppets must know that all the aggressive armed forces participating in the forthcoming exercise, the military bases in South Korea and abroad, the White House, Department of Defense, the Blue House, and other strongholds of aggression and provocation will be the targets of the strategic and tactical rockets and other powerful cutting-edge ultra-precision fire-striking winds of our revolutionary armed forces. If they conduct the adventurous Ultra Freedom Guardian joint military exercise despite our ultimatum and throw even a spot to us, the responsibility for all the catastrophic consequences will go entirely to the United States and the trigger-happy South Korean gangsters, the press statement stressed.
The website of the General Association of Koreans in the United States on July the 28th logged an article contributed by a U.S. resident Korean in denunciation of the present South Korean ruler, revealing her true nature as a modern version slave fighting for the U.S. permanent occupation of South Korea.
The Solidarity for Democracy, People's Life, Peaceful Reunification and Sovereignty, an organization of South Korea, issued a statement on July the 28th, and the South Korean internet newspaper, Voice of People, posted an editorial on July the 29th, condemning the prosecution for demanding 20 years imprisonment and 10 years of suspension of qualification for Lee Sok-gi, who was detained on suspicion of attempted rebellion. According to the South Korean internet newspaper, Hajuminbo, the Joint Action for Release of Prisoners of Conscience held a press conference before the Seoul Detention House on July the 29th in denunciation of the atrocities against the human rights of the prisoners of conscience.
South Korean personages of different circles, including civic, religious, academic, and cultural circles, held a meeting for the institution of special law concerning the ferry Sewol in Seoul on July the 28th in demand of a thorough probe into the truth behind the ferry Sewol disaster, according to the South Korean internet newspaper Voice of People. That day, at the trial for the crew of ferry Sewol, the survivors of the ferry Sewol sinking disaster demanded severe punishment of the crew and maritime police pushed on the rescue of passengers while the ferry was sinking. And that's the end of the news, read by Lee Hyang-sin and Cho Jung-nam. This is Voice of Korea.
The Daily Rodong Sinmun carried a commentary on Friday under the title, Futile Temerity Precipitating Death. The commentary said, as soon as he became the Minister of National Defense of South Korea, Han Min-gu appeared on the Yeonpyeong Island on the hottest waters and senselessly talked about punishment of the source of provocation and supporting and commanding forces. She also showed up on television and cried that the North should be aware of the danger to the existence of its social system. Some time ago, she inspected the missile command of the Public Ground Force and talked about possible attack on the whole of the North, precision attack on any target, and the like. The outbursts recently made by traitor Han Min-gu are all were outbursts of a confrontation maniac who is eager to make a provocation aimed at our dignity and system. Han Min-gu considers a terrible calamity that would plunge the whole of South Korea into flames to be a mere play with fire in his childhood. His weak-minded way of thinking is really surprising. We do not consider that we have perfect tactical and strategic rockets with nuclear warheads on the highest level. Our army and people are burning their hearts with a will to destroy the enemy's citadel at a blow at once and revenge themselves on the enemy. Han Min-gu had better act with discretion, bearing in mind that if he wags his short tongue like an innocent child, he will invite wholesale guesses. That was the commentary under the title, Futile Temerity Precipitating Death, carried on the Daily Rodong Sinmun on Friday. This is Voice of Korea. We notice in the main quarters, President Kim Il-sung is together with General Kim Jong-il. Now, you appreciate the immortal masterpiece, The Embrace of My Motherland, written by the Korean leader Kim Jong-il in Juche 41 or 1972. The song represents the noble meaning that the embrace of the precious motherland, as beautiful as the color and as warm as the spring day, is precisely the bosom of the Korean leader Kim Il-sung. beautiful piano concerto, We Prosper, My Motherland. Now, you appreciate the song The Glorious Motherland, created in 1936 or 1947. enjoy your band music. My country is so nice. Resistance to U.S. arbitrariness, high-handedness, and interference. Now the meanwhile trappings and espionages of the United States trigger strong protest and denunciation of the international community. 2 U.S. spying cases were recently disclosed in succession in Germany, and the head of the office of the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency in Berlin was expelled on July the 10th. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Bahrain issued a statement on July the 7th announcing deportation of a U.S. diplomat. In the statement, the ministry exposed that the U.S. diplomat who had flew in under the pretext of visit had a contact with anti-government forces of Bahrain and instigated them to a demonstration against the government, and stigmatized it as interference in the internal affairs, ignoring diplomatic practice. It declared him an undesirable man and demanded him leave Bahrain immediately. Some time ago, the Venezuelan government deported Americans who had conducted espionage acts under the guise of diplomats. The minister of the country told the press conference that, according to the measures of his government, 3 officials of the U.S. Embassy in his country would be deported within 48 hours. They enrolled into universities under the pretext of issuing visas in a bid to meet chiefs of violent student organizations trained by them, the foreign minister exposed. Not only that, counterintelligence is active to cope with the U.S. Espionage Act. Addressing a press conference on July the 16th, a spokesman for the security affairs of the Green Party of Austria called for establishing internal counterintelligence system to watch the espionage acts of the United States. He said Austria has been a paradise to the US spies. Therefore, it is very necessary to adopt an counterintelligence law, and they would discuss with the Social Democratic Party and the People's Party to adopt their law within this fall. The European Union found out all the wiretapping devices installed in the building by a US intelligence service and passed a law through the European Parliament which stipulated illegal access to the information system, collection of unapproved information, wiretapping of communication, and the like as capital crimes. Russia, which widely uses typewriters for ensuring secret, intends to develop and introduce a comprehensive Internet filter system to keep internal information from leaking abroad through Internet. Not a few countries plan to possess their own military and communication satellites. Moves are becoming active on the international arena to manage the Internet monopolized by the United States within the framework of multi-party negotiations like the World Telephone Network operated and managed by a UN organization. A resolution sponsored by Brazil and Germany to cope with the illegal wiretapping of the United States was adopted at the meeting of the Third Committee of the 68th session of the UN General Assembly amid the support of the participating nations. It is natural that the United States is isolated and denounced by many countries. If the United States persists in wrongdoings, it will face a great international protest. So far, you've been listening to an account under the title Resistance to US Arbitrariness, High-Handedness and Interference. This is Voice of Korea.
Dear listeners, with this we conclude the English language service of Voice of Korea from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Voice of Korea presents its English language service for Southeast Asia between 5 and 6 hours UTC on 13,650 kHz and 15,105 kHz, and between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 11,735 kHz and 13,650 kHz. For Middle East and North Africa between 16 and 17 hours UTC on 9,890 kHz and 11,645 kHz, and between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 9,875 kHz and 11,635 kHz. For Southern Africa between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 7,210 kHz and 11,910 kHz. And for Central and South Americas between 4 and 5 hours UTC on 11,735 kHz, 13,760 kHz, and 15,180 kHz, and between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 11,710 kHz and 15,180 kHz. Goodbye, this is Pyongyang.